You would have lost this war, and you know it. Only Jew tactics left you around. Imagine playing like an ATGM, who loses every fight and runs around for his life. And that was said by Timboslice. Hello and welcome to this casted game, played between Doherty, playing as 2nd Panzer Division, and he's up against Timboslice, playing as 35Y VDV. Timboslice, notorious for being the calmest man in Warno. And yeah, he's a great bloke. He said that he would never watch any of my videos again because I hang out with the War Yes people. So let's go through the deployment and then we'll cast the game. So Doherty playing 2nd Panzer, and he's sending out a lot of snipers. I don't think he knows that on this patch the snipers don't work. The sniper trait doesn't work. Any traits that have the necessity to stand still don't work, so GSR, security, sniper, they all don't work in this wonderful KELLERMAN update. So these are just bad at shooting. The sniper trait doesn't work. But yeah, so there we got one here, and one here. And sadly, yeah, they don't benefit from the additional stealth. They just don't get that. So we'll see how that goes for him. And then he's got FS Jaeger, 2 FS Jaeger up here to stop a rush. 1 to the mid, presumably to stop a rush. And FS Jaeger to the right to stop a rush, presumably, although that's just sort of a normal deployment. And then the Lux is going up here. He's got a forward deployed CV, which is immediately unloaded to Bravo. A 2nd forward deployed CV going to Charlie. A 3rd FS Jaeger, but for some reason this one's further behind. And an IHawk with a supply, which is good news. I'm surprised by his decision to put it there. So basically, the IHawk shoots very far. Basically, if you put it in the middle, it shoots across the whole map. So why wouldn't you have it in the middle? Why wouldn't you have it here or here? Putting it here is a bit odd. Just because it doesn't cover your guys over there. But it's his decision. And he's got an M48 also going over to here, so he definitely expects something coming down this road. It seems like a pretty defensive deployment, and he's bought the forward deployed CVs just to make sure that he's not too far behind on points. Switching to Timboslice, we've got 2 BMD2s going to here. They're going to unload their infantry and move forwards. Desantno-Shturmovaya going to this house here. And he's got a Desant homosexual behind him, and he's going to this house here, and he's bringing his faggot in a robot. The robot has a lot of extra ATGMs, these are Conkers, but it has bad stealth. I really don't like it because it's got bad stealth, it tends to get spotted and killed. And, you know, it doesn't have... I mean, it has smoke, but it's only got 1 armor, so I really don't like it. It tends to be you fire at something and it just turns its tank gun towards you and annihilates you. Can be useful against, you know, weak things, but... or as part of a bigger blob. But hey. And then he's got a Strela 1, which... this is the wheeled one, isn't it? Surprised by his decision to bring the wheeled one. I think the tracked one's just so much better. But I guess he's doing some sort of heavy attack. In terms of the rest of the deployment, we've got the rest of his deployment. And he's got 2 cars, forward deployed cars, just get in the zone straight away. And then he's got Desant-Rozvedka, another Desant Faggot, and Desant Igla. Rozvedka's going to there. Faggot's going to there as well. And the Igla's going to here. So that's fair enough. On the right side, we've got another wheeled Strela that's going to here. The thing is, the tracked one carries like 12 rounds, and it's like 10 points more. And I'm pretty sure the missiles are better, and I think the accuracy is better. The only advantage of this is the speed. And it used to be that the tracked one wasn't fire and forget, something like that. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Anyway, Desant-Rozvedka going to here. 2 BMDs going to left and right. And yeah, Mi-24K going all the way to where that IHawk's going to meet it. Oh, and there was actually a Gepard here. I didn't see that. So there was actually a Gepard there. So we'll see how that goes for him. And 1 Spetsnaz, 1 BMD, and they're going to here. So quite a conservative deployment for Timboslice, not really using his forward deployed advantage. Because he's just going for the middle of the map. It can be useful to try and take this, or try and take this. Or try and take this, but yeah, whatever. And we'll cast it from this perspective because I'm already here. This video is sponsored by Heaviers. It's like a lighter, but heavier. Check the link in the description for more information. Right, so they're off, and everybody's going to where we said they were going to go. And we've got, yeah, the BMD2 is quite expensive now, 50 points. It does. I mean, the Conkers is just really good now because of the vet changes. You can see how good the BMD2 is, but it's got no smoke and not much armor, only 2 armor, so it tends to die in one hit to anything. I'm at 24k opening up, but Doherty started with a Harrier. A Tornado, and that just cleans that up in one pass. I don't really enjoy that interaction after playing Broken Arrow. I just think the fact that jets can't just immediately dome helicopters in Broken Arrow is good, and in fact the helicopters win. But everybody does it. Like, I'm not faulting Doherty for doing that. Everybody does it. And he does eat some free shots there because the BMD2. Tornado being brought in for a gun run. It's going to start eating some Strelas. Stuck around for a bit too long. He's dived past the Strelas and gone for the MiG-29. Tornado, of course, way more expensive, but the air game's so much RNG. Although, not sure what was going on there. Lots of misses. Lots of misses. He's got one Skyflash Super Temp left, and it gets the kill. So he gets out, and the Harrier's there as well. The Germans, of course, sending the British to do the real work once again, just like against Napoleon. This Gepard's not really in a good spot, and it does eat a Conkers and explode. But hey, that helicopter's down, and this guy's not actually in the zone. So Timboslice will get that lead anyway, even though Doherty spent all those points on those forward deployed CVs. Just a car one's just better because you don't have to unload it. I mean, it's better for the speed. The infantry one's better for the survivability. Because the car will explode in one tank shot, whereas this will take 6 shots to kill. Ostensibly. I do like saying that. But yeah, the BMD2s have held this off, and both sides have recon, which is good. So this Strela's definitely been spotted. On the other side, I think he sees the FS Jaeger. Opening himself up to some bombing runs here, but the Eyehawk is there. Would love to see a Fliegerfaust. I don't know if he's going to bring any. I run second pans with Fliegerfausts. I think they're really good now. They used to be absolutely awful. They used to be the worst manpad in the game because Eugen hadn't added the British yet. One, of course, a game made in France. But, yeah. Things changed. I think this is getting too close. If it was over here, it could have shot by now, but because the trees are hiding these guys, it's going to get within autocannon range, and it's just going to get rinsed, because it's only got 4 HP. Here, watch this. So he's trying to get away, and yeah, you see, you just have no time to react. I think autocannons are a bit too strong against helicopters. That was basically 2 salvos, so unless you react, even if you react immediately, like he almost did, he turned away almost immediately, and it still brought him down. Autocannons a bit too strong against Helo's IMO. Leopard 1s within tank gun range should win that fight. It's just the Conkers will hit them. It won't one-shot them though. You need 21 AP to one-shot a Leopard 1 in the front armor, a 7 armor tank in the front armor. Right now the Leopard 1s have 7 armor. Yeah, he definitely sees them because of this, so he'll get the vision advantage because Timbo doesn't have any recon here. And yeah, the Conkers won't one-shot them. Oh, no, but they've got the range advantage, so they did actually see him. And if they both hit that, he smokes quite intelligently. Now he needs to let this one go forwards. Oh, I see. What? So this one's in range and this one isn't. This one's in vision, this one isn't. They're both in vision. They've got good accuracy on the guns, and they don't one-shot the BMD2s either. 16 pen at max range against a 2-armor vehicle. That's worth knowing. This, of course, doesn't have the max range of a tank gun. The max range of a tank gun is 2,275. So both of these are wounded, and they're actually out of Conkers because they only carry 3. I didn't know that. I thought they carried 4. Spetsnaz versus FS Jaeger. You'd expect the Spetsnaz to win, particularly when it's just one FS Jaeger and his mates aren't helping him. I think Doherty should reinforce this. He's gone for 3 mortars. Could use a bit more infantry. And the Descent BMD, they do get fairly decent rocket launcher, pretty decent accuracy, and so that Leopard 1 explodes. Is this the one that has smoke? Because one of them used smoke and one of them didn't. Sadly, there's no way to tell, except by, you know, seeing if the smoke button is active on your panel, and obviously we don't see that. So you see, the robots haven't really done anything yet. This is quite a static game, and that is much to Timboslice's detriment, because the way you play 2nd Panzer Division is you do the forward deployed stuff to get to the middle of the map, so that you're not forced to push all game. And then you just play attrition for the next 30 minutes. And then right near the end, you just queue move in, and most of the time that works, depending on how your attrition game's been going. If you're behind a 2nd Panzer, it can be difficult to catch up. But the thing with 35Y is 35Y is supposed to punch as hard as possible at the start of the game, and then spend the rest of the game clinging on for dear life. And Timboslice's punch has just been to take the middle of the map and then sit on it with 183 points. 120mm mortars are really good. Sadly, the UK does not have access to 120mm mortars. Warno, of course, a game made in France. I've been told to say that less, so I'll be saying it less. I once read a story about some guy that just had like a bell on his couch, and whenever he pointed out something he didn't like on the TV, his wife kept telling him to shut up. He just hit the bell. like that Just a Buy guy. I don't know if you've seen that Just a Buy guy. He's does reviews for all sorts of games. It's worth watching. The mortar trail is really dumb. It takes ages for the salvo to land. Basically, a howitzer fires a cheap howitzer, a small caliber howitzer. The smoke will arrive first on the small caliber howitzer than it will on the mortar, if you put them the same distance away. Because even though the mortar aims faster, just look at that. Look at that. You hate to see it. Beautiful sunny day though. I don't go outside. I just play Warno, and but they do damage when they hit. It's just at that range the dispersion is quite large. The dispersion on mortars changes with distance, just like it did in Red Dragon. Sadly, the dispersion on howitzers and MLRS does not change with distance. And I'm really not sure why, because it used to, and then they changed it not to. It's a bit odd, because it's just for gameplay and also realism. You have a thing called minute of angle. Basically, a small deviation with a small distance is not going to matter. A small deviation with a very large distance is going to make your shell miss by a few hundred meters, right? Depending on the distance, of course. And, yeah, death row. Proper snooze fest. That's just the way death row always is, because if you attack and you... Like, Timbo, he's done well to push up to here, actually. But, it's very difficult for him to continue to reinforce. He needs to put stuff here, really. And that's what I'd do if I was Doherty. I'd get a tank here with a recon, and then you could just shoot across into the thin line. Lots of ATGMs. This Milan is not smoking. It does get smoke, and now it has been smoked. But yeah, Timbo just playing to Doherty's advantage here by playing it so slow. Of course, 35Y doesn't get the tanks anymore, so attacking's quite hard, but he should have pressured more down here early, or just somewhere at the start he should have done a big push. He's opted to go for the open ground without the tanks. I guess he could put an ATGM here. But, yeah, so let's say he pushes Doherty out of here. He'll just move his CV over to here. And then all that will have been for nothing. Mortars are just chipping away. They don't do a whole lot. It's not like Broken Arrow where they actually do something. Like you see, the radius of them is just rubbish. So that was a direct hit, did 1 damage, great. Oh, got some more direct hits. It's not really doing a whole lot, is it? And Milan 2 going for that scratch hit, which does not get smoke, but it misses. Pioneers going in now. 10-man squads probably beat the Desantno-Shturmovaya, particularly as the ATGMs aren't helping out. I'm surprised that he hasn't got his BMD2s and just put them here. I mean, I guess he's worried about that Milan killing them all. At which point you'd smoke that off or buy artillery for that. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So he sent it forwards and he... What? Oh, I can see all the way through. Okay. And, yeah, Doherty sees all this. If he brought it round, he'd see a bit more, but... this is ground vision, this is air vision, that's why it doesn't look right. But yeah, Doherty just played to 2nd Panzer strengths. I will sit here and use artillery for 30 minutes and then I'll Q move you in the last 10. Presumably that's what will happen. All I know so far is that he is sitting and just letting his enemy run into him, and it's going quite well. But yeah, big build up from Timboslice here. He definitely means to go through there. And we've got a Leopard 2A3 here. Would love to see that here. With a recon next to it. Because there's this recon which can see down there, but there's no recon that can see down the road. And that can be a problem. And yeah, 35Y does not have an answer to these heavy howitzers. They can just sit at the back. They don't have to move, because the only thing 35Y gets, well, they get the Vasilek and they get the Nona, and I think they get a regular 120mm mortar. And so they just can't shoot this. It's too far away. So Milan 2 could use some resupply. I know it's fired a few now. And Timbo continued to build up. Where's his next income coming? For the mid? Okay. But one of these divisions has a better late game than the other. Here we go. This has finally moved up. And I've noticed there's actually no AA here apart from one Strela. Could use a few Iglas. But yeah, they can't see that, I guess. Otherwise... Oh no, it's just out of range. Yeah, because here comes the howitzer shell for it. Howitzer's a little bit better. But still too weak in my opinion. It's just 10v10 players complaining about artillery. Just gets the artillery nerfed. Because they get hit by 8 players artillery and they're like, oh, it's OP. But they don't realise that that's, you know... That's not worth it for the enemy team, really, to do that. And here we go. Here are the Nonas. This is what I was talking about. So the Nona's a piece of junk because it's got... it's classed as a howitzer, but it doesn't have the advantages of the howitzer in terms of range, right? And it doesn't have the advantage... Sorry, the main advantage it's missing out on is it doesn't get corrected shot. So when you've got a recon unit, the recon unit can... within like a circle that's about this big, I don't know, it corrects the... It makes the dispersion of any artillery that shoot... Any howitzers that shoot in that thing smaller. And the known is classed as a howitzer, but it doesn't benefit from it. Is this going to die? Nope. And yeah, you just see the power of these bigger squads. And how difficult it is for Red to push here. That's why you don't see it happen very often, because you can't help that fight until they get to about here, right? And so it's very difficult to push into this last little bit. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the Nonas. So they don't benefit from corrected shot. And they're just not very good. So yeah, they don't fire as fast as mortars. And they don't get the accuracy of the howitzers. So they're just bad. It's very sad. The only other thing worth bringing is probably just the 120mm mortar, if they get it. I think they do. I might be wrong. The Vasilek's really not very good, because it fires in this stupid arc, and so they see it shoot and then they just run off. And because it's 82mm, the dispersion just means that it very rarely hits something, because the splash damage on the 82mm mortars is dreadful. Oh, that 120 though got that guy. So yeah, artillery is sort of a smoke thrower and a force multiplier. You can't do anything yourself with artillery. Even if it was twice as strong, you wouldn't be able to. So it got Leopard 2A3 up here. And the Nonas are opening up... yeah, so you'll see this, right? This is the heaviest artillery the VDV can bring to bear. Whoa! It's hitting right next to it and doing nothing! That was a direct hit, Captain. 0 damage. Wow! Took off 1 HP. Took off half a HP, and guess what? They carry like 18 rounds. So you gotta constantly follow them around with a supply truck. This carries 80. So yeah, the Nona's really not great. They've got direct fire, unlike the Abbott. The Abbott is the UK light howitzer, and it has direct fire capability. It's got a pretty beefy HE round because it uses HESH, and because Warno's a game made in France, it doesn't have its direct fire capability, but the AMX Alpha 1 does. But I know people have been telling me not to say that a lot, so I won't say it. And yeah, the advantage of the Nona is it's also self-propelled, so it's very, very difficult to deal with it. Particularly as it has 1 top armor, whereas this has less than 1. The reason for that is that this is open-topped. Whereas this is not. It is a very nice looking piece of kit, let's face it. Looks lovely. Oh, Give me an epileptic shock there. So, yeah, we see these two guys just wasting their artillery trying to kill each other. It's just not going to happen. Two jets coming in for what? That's not... What? That's a really bad idea. I guess he couldn't predict how... I mean, it was actually extremely lucky that he got that tornado. He flew over 2 Gepards and an Eyehawk. This is what I meant about the Eyehawk. Look how big the range is. But he did that for what? A recon helicopter. It's just not worth it. Bring up a manpad. Bring up an Igloo. Put it in this, skirt it through this forest. Shoot it, you know. It's got 4 HP. It's just not worth it. I guess Doherty thinks there might be somebody in here. Because he doesn't know. He doesn't really have vision of it. Yeah, because he's down the hill. So he's got to clean this out. But Timbo didn't take advantage of that. Should have had a unit down here, unit down here. Get a unit here. Can be extremely useful if you can get a recon unit to like here or something. Although here it would just get blatted by the tanks. And the mortars are mortaring. It's good. If you buy artillery, you should use it. And all the while, second Panzer just building up, Here comes another 4 Marders. Doherty bringing his Marders with the Milans. I don't bring mine with the Milans because I'm an idiot. And then I lose the game. So I regret my decision. There's a lot of choice with the Marders. So you can get a Marder 1A2 for 40. Marder 1A2 Milan for 45, which has got a Milan 1 on it. You can get a Marder 1A3 for 45, or you can get a Marder 1A3 Milan for 50. Personally, I'm starting to lean towards the Marder 1A3 Milan being the best, but it's all about the momentum. So this is 30 plus 45, which is 75, and you get 260 points in a minute. So, dear viewer, what is 75 times by 4? It's 300, so you can't afford it. Whereas if you get... Well, okay, hang on. What's 75 times by 4 is 300. 75 times by 3 is 225, so you can buy 3 in a minute. Now imagine if it were, as you were, that this was only 70 points instead of 75. 70 times by 4 is 280, so you can't buy that in a minute either. So when these were nerfed, all those strats went out the window, and I've only just realised that. But basically, one of them used to be so cheap that you could buy 1 more in a minute. But you can't do that anymore. Sending the IFVs first, very inspirational. Don't recommend it. He's going to have to smoke that one. A little bit too late. But yeah, generally you want the infantry in front. But I think he Q-clicked it, and obviously the Marders are faster. And the Metis are just cleaning out the Marders. Tanks are a little bit too far behind, but generally this is a good push. And this is what we were on about with the Q move. Gepard on the front lines is rough. But the Faggot won't one-shot it because it's only 16, and this has 3 armor. This is where the manpads come in, but yeah, the Gepard does the same job, I guess, and because of the armor, you'll see it. Yeah, see, it didn't get one-shot. See, I can play this game. Did you know I used to be the best Warno player in the world? So, the natural response for a VDV player when somebody attacks him is to spam a bunch of helicopters, but the helicopters have been nerfed a lot. That always happens. The main thing is that the rockets on the helicopters just don't do anything. And this is actually going to get out, because there just wasn't a lot of AA here. So yeah, there you go, the old 2nd Panzer Q move. The only thing he's missing is some looks for recon, because he can't actually see much. And if he had a couple recon units in here, it would really help him. And here we go, so Timbo's going to do his attack on the left. It's hard to keep track of both, so we're just going to have to watch it like this. And yeah, the helicopter's just going in and getting donked, because helicopters have been nerfed so much. You see, that one just died to small arms. He's even sending the supply. He's sending the supply. So, the Tornado and the Harrier going for the ASF. ASF's what, trying to duel the Harrier? I guess he's trying to protect the helicopters. But the Tornado was going for the helicopter. All we see when something dies is command zone captured. But you see an exploded helicopter. Sadly, that bug, very frustrating, but... You know, I'm not top of Eugen's priority list. If anything, when I ask for something, they deliberately don't do it. F4HE2 is fantastic. It's a fantastic bomber, and they both get out just because of the weak AA of 35Y. Whereas none of the 35Y stuff's getting out. The LGB didn't get a chance to get used. LGB a big advantage of 35 white. Oh, the Nonas, they get a Leopard too. Damn. It was on 1 HP from something else. But yeah, this attack's going alright, and this attack's going alright. It's very difficult to keep an eye on both. So, yeah, this blob, though, really needs to spread out, because if that HE2 comes back, I know it won't for a while because it's been wounded, that's a very, very not spread out blob, and that's really not good at all. So he's probably get this, because it doesn't actually have AET, so these guys are just on an attack move, they'll get down there. Fucks Milan actually doing work, I don't bring it, but... And the artillery's coming in, it's going for the CV. This blob really needs to be careful. If that HE... I mean, it's going to be a few minutes before that HE2 comes back. So yeah, this is working out. Over here, you see the disadvantage with attacking in the middle, right? You attack over here, you go 20 meters, you get in a zone. You attack over here, you go for this massive zone, and you don't accomplish anything, because then they just move the CV over here. It can be very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. So, the robots all went down to the Milans, which means that... the BMDs went down to the Milans, which means that this guy might actually just survive. These guys need to do a bit of spreading out. This has been fast-pathed in there. The howitzers, if you're not using them, you should just put them on auto attack, so you don't have to worry about it. And then, yeah, there you go. So if only... So those crappy little Fuchs Milans completely saved the day here, because they've given time for the reinforcements to get here. And if that hadn't happened, the BMD-2s would have killed this, and then they would have got set up here. And then once they're set up here, it's very difficult to get tanks down this road, because the ATGMs hit you. So another push from Timbo into the enemy's push, and these tanks are all pretty low, but they're being microed. Lots of things going on. Sadly, all we see is command zone captured. Known as hitting the FS Jaeger. They'll probably get it, because it's not moving. It needs to get back a building. Bit of an odd decision to put it in that building anyway. Should have just put it back there. So red does take that zone, and Doherty in a bit of a pickle here, because his push is completely stalled out. And it's just that typical death row middle point, where, honestly, all they need to do is just get this middle point and just split it down this road. That's all they need to do. But, yeah, it's just the map. You attack in the open, you get really far. He's taken more ground, but it doesn't really matter. What is this going for? The seed? I'm not sure. Looks like he's just out of everything, just needs to evac it. It's now it is out of everything, and there it goes, it evacs. So, yeah, interesting to see what happens next, but it looks like Timbo's just won. I mean, you need more infantry in here, and here come the Zickerungs, and these guys aren't on auto cell, which is a shame. Leopard 1s do not get one-shot by meta squads, so you need 21 AP to one-shot a 7 armor vehicle. And Timbo sort of pushed out with his infantry and then came back. So that was really cool micro from him. The seed's out, and it won't do very well against Harrier AA, but... Like, what? Why doesn't he just fly away? Why is he coming back? The Harriers are just going for the helicopters. This is so silly. And because they're so slow, they get a lot of time to shoot. And so they basically get both of them, because this one's forced to go forwards to the forest to hide. He could have gone backwards, I guess. And then this is just going to finish it off with its chain gun. It's MG3. Warno, of course, a much better looking game than Broken Arrow. I do want both games to succeed, but I was very disappointed in Broken Arrow. I thought it would be more than it is. But that's my fault for having high expectations. And the Harrier is evac Winchester. Must have evac Winchester turned on, because that looks pretty immediate, unless his micro is just really, really, really good. And the Nonas are being used pretty well. Timbo really needs to get some ATGMs up here. Something to kill the tanks. It's kind of hard at this range. But he's +4 all the while, and it's looking very, very over for Doherty. Very over, so I'm not sure what happens next. There we go, HE2. Ah, it's empty. There's nobody there. It does evac the right way. And these Leopards should just be able to just run in, because... Well, actually, this has got short-range AT, and it's in the back building, which is a smart choice, because if it's in the front one, they can all shoot it. If it's in the back one, as soon as they come around here, they get side shot. Zikarungs will beat Desantniki BMD just because of the weight of numbers. And the Spetsnaz is not long for this world. Lots of tanks coming in. These Zikarungs have gone in through here. Could use some AA. All these guys have had to stop. What really needs to happen here? Ah, here we go. So he's bringing up the Fern Scharfschütze to get a good view on this. And he's got so much artillery. He's just not using it. He could, you know, just hit this corner. Because you can be pretty sure that it's either here. Because of what he's taken. And because of where the line is on the map, you can be pretty sure it's either here or here. Because it can't be here because the vision's not good enough and you'd see it. But yeah, getting a recon up would be helpful. I know he's got this. Leopard 2s have been repaired. What would be cool from Timbo is to just chuck a load of smoke in this and just run in. But instead he's just running in, and that's not smart. Although, especially one at a time. Because he's not in range, and yeah, it's just going to reverse, mate. You need to chuck the smoke first. So smoke all this and then run in with all that. He is trying to shoot the enemy instead, and his lead's gone down to a +2. That Resvedka went down, so I think the Leopard 1 ball can just push this out pretty quickly. And indeed it does. Spetsnaz doesn't have AT, so they can't do anything. This is not smart. I'm not sure why he's doing that. Because he's already got a CV in here. But apparently he just really wants that there. And I guess he doesn't know about it. Like, he didn't see it. Because, yeah, it's so dead, man. I mean, if these just... Oh, they keep reversing. But if they didn't, they could get that. He might just die to the Zikarungs anyway. I just don't think he's paying attention. But yeah, great play from Doherty, and now he needs to recognise that he needs to get 863 points somewhere. And the best way to do that is to attack down here, because the entire enemy force was in here and they're all dead. You can be pretty sure that if somebody mass pushes you and you kill them all, you can be pretty sure that there's not much left here, because chances are he just sent everything because he wants to win, right? Good play with the Nonas, though. He's got them nice and close, so there's not much time to react. They have a much nicer arc than the mortars. I mean, frankly, I just don't understand the mortar arc at all. It's like it goes to the stratosphere. It's just not high priority. If I say something, it doesn't happen. So, yeah, he's not pushing. Now is the time. Although, you know, you've got this problem. But yeah, I would be pushing down here basically immediately. He is building up to that, I guess. Although actually it looks like he's going in over here. Conker's back in this building. Who's it going for? Oh no, this has 2,500 supply in it. It just cuts the LOS there. Yeah, this is the problem. That's why you need the Eyehawks. Every time, that's a 60-second kill switch, that LGBT. Every 60 seconds I get a kill. This guy tried to come around here, but he's been spotted. He's still alive. Is he going to land? It's more of a desperation play. What is this going for? Is he going to gun run it? What? It didn't work. But now he's going to lose it to the tornadoes. So that was very odd. Basically, that seed, that LGBT has a really good gun on it to shoot things, but didn't seem to work properly there. Here we go. No, he's going that way. I guess maybe he's going to push everything up to here. He's got 10 minutes to make something happen, and that seed goes down. It was sent in, and he lost the first thing to the tornadoes, and now he's sending that in. Making too many mistakes, Mr. Hansen. Why don't you take a seat over there? Ah, so now he's out of ammo again, because they run out of ammo so quick. Oh, yeah, that's going to get a lot of kills. So when the tornadoes flew over, he noticed, oh, I'm not being attacked. And so he followed it up with the F4 HE2s, and that actually takes that out. And now Doherty's on a +3. Because, yeah, he knew that it was in here, but... Because where else could it be? Because, you know, he was in here and it wasn't here. Bit strange on the decision to not resupply. It's like, I think he's just forgotten about them. But if he hadn't done that, he wouldn't have had to use the F4s on that. You just hit it with the artillery. But the burst of the plane can be useful. It doesn't give the enemy much time to react, whereas the artillery is not very accurate, you know. He might have had corrected shot on it, though. This can't really see too far into that. It needs to stop moving through this tree line. And that's what he's doing. Well, sort of. And here we go. So he's just going to... Yeah, he's attacking on 2 axes at once. Well, I mean, 2 parallel axes. One is to take this and one is to take that. Needs to spread these out because the misses are suppressing the nearby units. I do like this game. That was a great angle there. And false supplies, not really what you want right now. And he's bringing some Iglas in, and that was purchased when the HE2s landed, presumably, but he's got a different problem now. So he's bringing over all the Conkers, but... So I guess when they're here, they can shoot. So lots of Conkers cars. He needs to spread these out. They're all getting suppressed by one thing. Look. You see how that was suppressed, even though it didn't hit it, and this was also suppressed. It's because of how close they are together. So I guess that robot did do something. But yeah, those Conkers, they can't do anything because they don't have much HP. And with it, I mean, with 8 minutes left, just the longer the game goes on, the stronger 2nd Panzer gets in comparison to 35Y. If this was like 2nd Panzer versus 8th or something, it'd be a different story, but it is not. The Airborne Division does not have a good late game. And it's now +5 for Doherty. He's got 8 minutes to sort this out. Will he go for this? Will it be enough? Will it be enough? The Nonas have 20 AP on a heat shell as a direct fire. And that seed appeared to do... Oh, it doesn't even have a gun on it. Okay. Oh, it was the LGBT that I was talking about before. Never mind. So, that does get hit by the seed. But the tornado is going to kill it. And I don't understand why he's buying seed when... Is he going to see... Is he seeing that? He's going to try and sneak that through, I guess. Now he's buying 20 supply. I think he's just sort of given up. He's just buying supply now. Maybe he's run out of everything else, and he's just spamming what he has, which is supply. Because I noticed a lot of these units that are upvetted. And I remember he sent us CV over here. Yeah, so that CV that he had over here, right? If he hadn't lost it, that could come in here now and just secure the zone. Because you see that he still has a good foot in the zone. It's just he doesn't have a CV. But yeah, lots of supply trucks. This guy not long for this world. Not really anywhere he can go except into here. But he wants to keep it in the zone, I guess. Because it's 6 minutes left. This is 7 minutes to total victory. Somebody kept telling me, no, dude, that's 7 minutes till you win. It's not. Do the calculation. I did make that mistake myself once upon a time. HE2 loses the targets. I'm going to fly over all these scratches now. I'm not sure how much they'll do. Yeah, because they don't have a stabilizer. Well, they do have a stabilizer. They just didn't shoot. And yeah, Timbo just too far behind, but it's, 6 minutes. He's just trying to hold on with his 7 supply trucks. And the blob is going for Delta. So smart work on not contesting this forest at all. That's where the infantry is. Might as well just go over the open field. Let the HE2s do all that. And he's just got so much stuff. This didn't drop its bombs. It's now going to start eating AA. AA something Timbo still has. And yep. Doherty looking a gift horse in the mouth and shooting all the supply trucks that he got for free. Loses a tornado to all that AA. I think it was a tornado. Can we tell from the crater? Can't see anything, it's too hot. Can see a tail. Kind of looks like a plane. So yeah, GG. Epic last-ditch comeback. Doherty, of course, he'll come up with my profile, it's not me. And Timboslice rank 445. That's lower than I thought it would be. Yeah. Really good 2nd Panzer play into the division strengths. That Leopard 2 got a lot of kills. And Timbo, decent plays, but not really understanding the strength of his division and what he needs to do to win. But he almost had it. It looks like he would have it. Yeah, but 35Y, I mean, because the helicopters have been nerfed, it's much harder to play than it was before, but neither of these divisions particularly top tier. So GG, let me know what you think, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you around.